Hi everyone, and welcome to All About Buffy, Season 7, Part 2. You are joining me on a very chilly, rainy, windy day, as you can hear. I don't know if you can hear the chimes as well. I love those chimes. They just soothe me. They're just intrinsically tied to home. The sound of those chimes just means home to me. But so it's a very chilly day. Hopefully that means that there won't be many people outside making noise. And most of the noise we get is the wind and the shutters and the chimes. But unfortunately that means that the cat is inside. It's too chilly out. So that could lead to some problems should she start, getting up to start the never-ending debate of, I want to be outside. No, I want to be inside. No, I want to be outside. No, I want to be inside. Everyone with indoor-outdoor cats will know that debate. But I have a little space heater on her because she's the important one. And hopefully my sheer passion for Buffy will keep me warm. Okay. I already have heard people, so my little theory is not going to hold up. But anyway, so we are continuing with the Season 7 video. And today I'm going to be talking about the characters and some episodes. Now, because I don't really like Season 7, I'm not super looking forward to getting into all that. So I might be, skipping some things or keeping things short in certain cases. So, and then after this video, I will be making one or two sort of epilogues, answering some questions that you've all asked along the way, and just with some reflections and concluding thoughts. So, but this is the last season-centered video. And in case you leave me on this one, thank you so much for watching. And I know there is a much bigger group of people than I would have expected watching every single one of these. And I think that's so awesome. So thank you. Okay. So let's get out the list. trusty listy list with the season 7 episodes right here on the bottom. Okay, but I'm going to be starting with characters. And as usual, Buffy first. So, Buffy. I feel that in this season, it's very clear that Buffy really does reach her full potential when it comes to being a slayer. You know, she tells Angel that she's cookie dough, that she's not finished baking, and where that's probably true romantically, in terms of slaying, in terms of being the chosen one, she is baked. She is done. She has got it down. In season 7, Buffy, you really see all of the previous events in the seasons that came before reflected in her, reflected in who she is and the way she goes about slaying and making decisions regarding slaying. And I, for one, love to see it, you know, so even if it all has hardened her a bit, made her cynical, jaded, I just applaud it, and as I have been since the very first episode, all the way until the very last, I am Team Buffy. I am fully Team Buffy. I have always been loyal to everything she does, everything she decides. My faith in her has never been shaken. So I love it. I must say, side note, so in season 7, there is this part where she basically chooses Spike for better or for worse. So basically it's when Robin and Giles kind of conspire to have Spike killed, and Spike survives, obviously, and it's a whole thing, and I skipped that side plot in the plot description because I don't want to talk about Spike anymore. But at that point, Buffy is kind of like, honestly, if any of you do something like this again, Spike will kill you and I will let him. But point, Giles has been on my fuck you list for a while, and Principal Wood has always been on that list. So while I get it, like, fuck them, but I'm Team Buffy. I can forgive her for whatever the fuck is going on in her head regarding Spike. But I just did want to mention that I do place some serious question marks just there. Okay, so Buffy. The world is so noisy today. Like, I don't even know what that is. Willow's character is really interesting this season, obviously, because we are dealing with the aftermath of Dark Willow. And I do think that that is handled very well. Much better than the aftermath of Spike assaulting Buffy. Which, I mean, it's not like it's completely ignored. There are some flashbacks, there's some flinching, there's some sobbing, but so Dark Willow, she got sent off to England, or the UK at least, and she went to a coven where she, learned to connect with the earth and connect with magic in a different way. So as to not cut her off from magic completely, but just to teach her to handle it. Teach her to handle it, period. And I just think she does some really good acting this season. In the beginning, especially when she just comes back and she's really fearful and she's just scared of herself. She's scared of how everyone else will see her. She's very scared when she, needs to use magic again. All of that. Now, the cat is moving. I'm just gonna sit very still, not make eye contact. Okay, she's turning around. He's lying back down. Okay, she's... Okay. Okay, so she's facing me right now. She's going back to sleep, but her eyes will still open if I move too much, so I'm gonna keep really still for a little while. So basically, there's a point in this season that pretty much everyone except from Buffy and Spike annoy me. But that point kind of starts earlier for Willow at the second Kennedy is brought into the picture. It's not that I don't want her to move on. It's that I don't want her to move on with fucking Kennedy. And I don't buy it either. You do not go from Oz to Tara to Kennedy. Fucking hate that girl. And so, you know, when I ship hard. But if you give me a worthy character as a replacement for someone, I will accept it and will often come to love the new pairing as much or more than the previous one. I do not have examples right now. I'm gonna go over to Gilmore Girls for a sec. So, I was all for Rory and Dean, fully shipped them all the way. But then they brought Jess to the scene, and I jumped ship like quick, with the quickness. And then they brought back Dean, which again I could live with. Like, it's fine. But then they brought Logan. Fucking Logan. And so I was not like fully tied to Dean or Jess. If they would have given me a third decent guy for her, or girl, guy, that's fine. I would have jumped ship. It's fine. I can adapt. I can. But not for shitty people. Logan was a shitty person. Kennedy is a shitty person. So it's really not the fact that I don't want her to move on from Tara. That's fine. Just give me a worthy replacement. Kennedy is not even good enough as a rebound. No. Kennedy fucking sucks, and I hate her, and consequently I do not understand Willow at all. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Xander fucking sucks. We see more of why Xander fucking sucks in this season, as usual. And I think it's really great when Caleb pushes his finger into his eye and it just goes out I think that's lovely. And the show is like, he lost an eye because he sees everything. To me, he lost an eye because he can only see women as objects. And now he has one less eye to do that with. Like, do we remember his creepy sex dream about 2 of the potentials? Do we? Do we? It's so annoying. Like, the show has decent representation for the Black community, but the representation for the, Latino, I tend to say Latinx, but apparently there's only like 1% of people that actually uses the term Latinx, and most of them are not Latino or Latina. So I guess that's not the term. But Hispanic is not what I mean. So Latino, Latina. Anyway, the show is appalling in terms of representation for that community, which is ridiculous because it is in California. So when we finally get one of the potentials, being Latina, as one of the extremely few Latina characters in this show, extremely few, she has to be sexualized in a creepy sex dream from Xander? Really now? Really? Really? So, I blame Whedon and I blame Xander. He is a fictional character, but I blame him. So yeah, fucking psyched that he lost an eye. Good. Good. He should lose some more parts. Giles, we're not talking about Giles. Giles is excommunicated. Anya. Anya has some interesting developments this season. Really interesting. So Anya is a vengeance demon again. And I think it's really interesting how the show has come to just accept the grayness of it all, because in earlier seasons, like a vengeance demon actively harming people would definitely been bad. But now Anya returning to her demon ways isn't an automatic removal from their circle or from the show, and I think that's nice. But it does lead to some very difficult situations for Anya and for Buffy, because at first Anya is having a very hard time readapting to her demon status, and all of this is kind of explored in the episode Selfless, so I'll talk about that later, I guess. But yeah, she has some interesting character is explored in interesting ways. Unfortunately, she dies at the very, very end. At the very end. Yeah, that was rough. Who else? Not going to talk about Andrew or Jonathan. What were they even doing there? So bad. So bad. Principal Wood. Nope. 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 Dawn. Nope. Faith. Faith comes back at some point. Don't remember when. I love it. Yeah, I love Faith. And so she is, herself. She is currently not evil, but it's not like, it's a choice. She is choosing. It's like me. Everybody thinks that I'm good, but it is a choice. It is a choice that I make every day. I am not good at heart. 0 parts of me are good. But I choose to be good. And so I like that about Faith. When she is, when she joins the good side again, she chooses to. She chooses to fight on the good side. And I think that's admirable. And it's also just real and refreshing. Buffy is a little holier than thou. She is. She has the fucking right to be because she is innately good. She just is. But Faith is not. And so I relate to Faith, and I relate to her in this season, doing her best consciously. I like that. So I really like Faith's reappearance in this season. I just always like Faith, whatever she does. And so even in the big, horrible mutiny, Faith's role in it is the one that I can accept and understand most. Everyone else is just no. But Faith has no innate. Yeah. I get it. It's fine. I love Faith. I really like her. Anyone else? Do we need to talk about anyone else? Do we need to talk about Spike? Okay, so let's just say it again, because since posting my season 6 video, several of you have also fully agreed with me that the whole I getting my soul or am I getting revenge thing was not well executed, you know. So the writers claim that Spike was getting his soul this whole time, and that they wrote it ambiguously to have it be purposefully misleading. But my take on that is that it did not work at all, and that the ambiguous writing was not ambiguous, and that it just fully translated as that he was getting revenge and that he was after badness. That's how it came across to me. And so if the writers say that that's what they intended to do, then that's what they intended to do. But I can only say how it came across to me. And since then, several of you have agreed that that's also how it came across to you. That you did not think for 1 second that Spike intended to get his soul, and that the demon just kind of pulled a little prank on him in the end. That's what I thought. That's what apparently several of you thought as well. So the fact that Spike in season 7 puts the whole swing on it that he went and got his soul for Buffy to atone, to be worthy, to make things right, to blah, 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 all of that, to the people that saw it as I did, comes across as really fucking manipulative. Like, really manipulative. You know? Because no, he didn't intend to get his soul. He intended to get revenge. Instead, he got his soul. And now he's like, oh shit, well, how can I spin this? How can I use this to my advantage? And so I believe, like, later on, there's even a line when he's either talking to Angel or talking about Angel, and he's like, well, but I fought for my soul. I wanted my soul. I want to get my soul, as a way that makes him better than Angel or more worthy than Angel. And it's just like, what in the rewriting history fuck is this? So that all for me does not earn Spike any points. You know, the opposite. It earns him negative points. Negative points for Spike. So, no. And then he kills a bunch of people, and he didn't mean to, but it's not like he cares. And so I really have to just, as I was saying in the plot description, there just comes a point, like from Touched, pretty much maybe a little before that, where I just have to uncouple Spike from what came before, or I cannot, give myself over to the final episodes and the finale as it was written if I don't like sort of dissociate Spike from all of that. I can't enjoy it. So that's kind of what I do if you cannot do that at all and you just think the finale doesn't work at all because you're still really stuck on Spike being the worst. But then I fully understand that. If you just immediately chose to accept that, you know, he wanted his soul, he's regretful, he's atoning, he's doing all the things, and just buy into the redemption arc, if that's what you just did, I also fully accept that. It's a TV show after all, okay? Let's not forget that it's a TV show. So he is a fictional predator. So we don't have to be too crazy about that. But so for me, I do my compartmentalizing towards the end of the season, where I'm like, okay, I gotta let this go now, so I can enjoy this and so I can see it as it was written. But they fucked up. They fucked this whole character up. Okay, and I think that's it. Do I have anything else to say about any other characters? Cassie, Holden, Caleb. Okay, Caleb, because the other two. But I already talked a lot about Caleb in the plot description, but Caleb is fucking awesome. Caleb is hot. I have issues. Fucking issues. But yeah. No. Let's talk about the episode. Okay. So, like I said, I haven't watched season 7 too many times. So, I don't have a very good grasp on what happens in which episode. So if I am talking about an episode and it ends up that the things that I'm saying happen in an entirely different episode, that's totally possible, and I'm sorry if I get that mixed up. The first episode that I really do like in season 7 is Same Time, Same Place. And it's an episode where Willow comes back from England, but in her anxiety and fear of rejection, she subconsciously magics up a spell where Buffy and Xander and Anya and Dawn are not able to see her. So everyone is at the airport there to welcome her back, but she can't see them and they can't see her. So, you know, they are worried that she didn't come back from the UK or she went dark side again, and she is worried that they don't love her anymore and they cannot forgive her for what she did, and they just didn't come pick her up. So that premise already is fucking heartbreaking and just gut-wrenching and relatable. And so the rest of the episode, basically they're looking for each other while not being able to see each other. And there's like this glorious scene where they end up in the basement with Spike, and Spike can see them both. So Spike can see Willow and Spike can see Buffy and Xander, I think. And they're both talking to him and not to each other. And he has these lovely, like, insane lines, like, everyone's talking to me, but no one's talking to each other. And at one point he says, button, button, who's got the button? My money's on the witch. And it's just a nice scene. And so, yeah, that episode, it's very interesting. It has this really nice resolution with Willow being slowly eaten by Gnarl. Okay, maybe that's not this nice resolution, but I really like. Yeah, but so you've got like the Gnarl demon, like these long talons, and he just slices these strips, and it appeals to me. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's very satisfying. No? It's just, yeah, it's fine. But I like that episode. And then we've got Help. I love that episode. I think if it's the episode that I think it is, and it's where Buffy's, doing her guidance to counselor thing, and she comes across this girl, Cassie, who knows that she's going to die soon. And I just love the episode, and I think that's because Cassie is such an amazing character and such an amazing actress, and she just carries the story so well. So she dies in the end, but I really like that episode. Then we have Selfless, the episode with Anya I was talking about. So Anya is Vengeance Demon again, and she kind of gets a slap on the wrist because she has been going easy on the guys that she's supposed to exact vengeance upon. Hi Kitty, I'm here. Please don't ruin everything now. It's fine. Just go back to sleep. Just go back to sleep. Please. Oh God, she's just staring at me. She's totally not gonna just go back to sleep. Let me just talk until she gets up. So she is going easy on the men, and she gets kind of a slap on the wrist, and then she goes way overboard, like way, and she kills a bunch of college boys, like a dozen of them. She just paints the walls. She just paints the walls with them. And then, repercussions. And so Willow finds out she has to tell Buffy, and Anya realizes what she's done. And this episode really just like, explores Anya further. We have some flashbacks with her and Halfrek that are really interesting. And we get the amazing song, I'll Be the Missus, which is kind of like an extra song that belongs in Once More with Feeling, but it was filmed later. And it is so beautiful. And if you've never heard of it or seen it, just look it up. It's so beautiful. It just makes me so sad for Anya. It's so beautiful. And so what ends up happening is that Anya begs Dahlgren to turn it back, to undo it, and to bring the boys back to life. And Dahlgren is like, okay, fine, but you have to pay the price, the lives of these boys. They are worth the life of a vengeance demon. And Anya accepts this, and she agrees to sacrifice her life to bring these boys back. And so Dahlgren is like, okay, cool. And he summons Halfrek and kills her right then and there in front of Anya. It's a really good episode. And I like that Anya got that in the final season. I like that they didn't just treat her as Sandra's love interest, and after Sandra breaks up with her, she leaves the show or something. I like that they didn't do that they kept her on, and that she got that episode to explore her character. So him is kind of like our comic relief episode this season. It's not good, but it's not bad either. It definitely has some genuinely funny moments. But I never rewatch it. I just never watch it on its own. Conversations with Dead People. Now this is an amazing episode. Is it because Sandra's not in it? No, but it helps. So in Conversations with Dead People, they all have a conversation with some dead people. The first basically does like a coordinated attack to break them. And so Dawn hears Joyce. Robin, Principal Wood, sees his mom, Nikki Wood, the Slayer. And there she goes. Yeah, I'll be back later. We still got some daytime. is about 45 minutes later. The cat is outside now, but she played inside, outside for a while. And then she came back inside, and I sat with her until she, was falling asleep so I could come back here. But instead, she decided to get back up and go outside. So good news is the space heater is on me now. So you might hear it click on and off on occasion, but that's fine. And now I have to make sure that I don't just keep talking until it's dark, because I'm not cold anymore, because I'm pretty sure this video is already quite long. So I was on Conversations with the Dead People, which is one of my favorite episodes this season. I think probably, it's a really strong episode. And so Dawn talks to Joyce, Willow talks to Cassie, and Buffy talks to Holden. Now, on Cassie for a second, I think I've probably mentioned this in a previous video, but the original idea was to have Willow talk to Tara, but Amber Benson and, the program makers decided that against it, because Tara is just such a truly good and pure and beautiful character and soul, that they didn't want to tarnish that by having the first evil speak through her. And they thought that it would diminish just the goodness and light of her character. And I fully agree, and I love that they realized that, and that they didn't use her as a first evil vessel. And I also love that instead they brought back Cassie, because she is so good. But my favorite part of this episode is the part where Buffy and Holden talk. So Buffy is in the cemetery waiting for a new vampire to rise, and he does, and as she goes to stake him or fight him, he's like, Buffy? And it ends up being Holden, someone that she went to school with. And I love it, and I don't really know how to explain. I don't know the actor. I haven't seen him in anything else. I don't know if he's just really good, or if it is just the writing. I don't know, but it's so good. It works so well. I love what they talk about. I love the points he raises. It's just so good. I don't often remember the names of single characters like Cassie and Holden. I don't know what the kid is named in him. I don't know. Just looking around for other episodes with single characters. I don't know what Riley's wife is called. I don't know, you know, but Cassie and Holden are just so good. I don't know what half of the potentials are called. And I'm not talking about the half that is never really named. I'm talking about the half that is named. So, yeah, he is just so good. And I love this episode. And I love their scenes. And it's just kind of like... So my all-time favorite movies, all-time favorite movies are the ones where people just talk. That's it. So basically, movies like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, The Breakfast Club, High Fidelity, you know, things like that. Like, people just talk. That's the story. That's the movie. They talk. That's the movie. Those are my all-time favorite movies because all I fucking care about is script. That's it. That's it. I do not care about cinematography. I do not care about tension, action, plot, storyline. I do not care. All I want is a good script. And if you've got a good script, I will watch anything and I will love it. And so that part, this episode, really takes me to my favorite type of movie. It's just people just talk. You know, Willow and Cassie, and Buffy and Holden. The Dawn and Joyce scenes are a little more different, but I just fucking love it. Yeah, this but especially the scenes with Buffy and Holden, I really like those. I'd say that it's probably my favorite episode of the season. You know, not looking at the whole of the finale episodes. Okay, everything after that, I just don't have anything to say about. Just a lot of annoying shit with Spike and Principal Wood and Andrew and the potentials and blah, blah, blah. And so I guess then when Caleb is introduced, that's sort of when it picks back up for me. So the second we get Caleb, which I feel is like, is it around Dirty Girls? Lies my parents told me, maybe. That's when it just picks up for me. Caleb is such a good villain. He is such a commanding actor, and through that character, he just steals the fucking show, in my opinion. Like, yeah. Huge missed opportunity there. Huge. Huge. Maybe that was conscious. Maybe that was like, if they would have introduced Nathan Fillion from the beginning, maybe he would have just dwarfed everyone else. Because he's for sure like the stronger actor. Buffy. No, yeah. So maybe that was a conscious decision. I don't know, but I still feel like it was a missed opportunity, and I feel like he could have elevated the 7th season if they would have focused more on him and less on shit with Principal Wood, with Andrew, and even the potentials. So, and then we get into the finale, and I've talked about that in the previous video, so I'm not really going to go into that too much more. But yeah, I really enjoy the finale episodes. I really do. I think that it worked very well. Do I rewatch them? No. It never happens that I just go, oh, let's watch the 3 last episodes of Buffy. That never happens. But I do really think that they were great, and I am really happy with how they ended the show. So even though most of this season is just trash, I am happy with how they ended it. So, okay, I think this video is probably quite long, so I'm gonna wrap it up. And yeah, I'll be filming the concluding episodes to this series at some point when I can. It's probably not too late to get your questions out, so if you do still have questions that you'd like me to address, or topics that you'd like me to address, or whatever, in those concluding videos, let me know in the comments, okay? But you don't have to. So if nothing comes to mind, then don't, because I already have a few, and I talk a lot, so like I have enough for like 2 hours of footage. So if you don't have any questions that just come to you, don't sit there and try to think of one. Just let it go and wait for those videos. I have enough to talk about. Okay. Thank you for watching. Good night.